Okay. Take two?
For live.
Yeah, so hopefully people can actually see this. Like, we actually went through and did this video already. This is the second time.
Will you guys let us know if you can see the actual video right now?
Comment
because
in the chat room.
Something weird is going on with YouTube.
It
It said we were live, the audio was working, we did everything we were supposed to do, and now nothing is working for some odd reason.
So, worst case scenario, we'll record it and post it later. It's live, okay.
It's live, yay!
Okay. And it might actually work this time. So, yeah.
Paul said that it went live and then it froze.
10 seconds later and it froze, yeah. So, something going on YouTube. So, this time we're actually making a recording, so if something happens, we'll just re-upload.
We'll just re-upload it if something pauses all of a sudden without our knowledge or control.
Yeah.
So
so anyway, I wanted to talk about the Blackmagic announcements from yesterday. So, I was going to do it yesterday, but
hey guys,
Whit was a little under the weather, so we didn't do it.
Yeah, and I thought he would do it without me. So, and then I was like, let's just do one right now.
For some of the other Blackmagic stuff, I probably would do it without you, but this one, it's like very clearly aimed at filmmakers. Like, we got to get Whit on for that. You know, she is a filmmaker. So,
yeah.
So get her thoughts.
We'll try that.
So,
if we want, what do we want to talk about first? So Blackmagic had several new things that came out.
Yep.
And
we can just go in the order that they talked about them on the.
Okay, yeah. So the order that they did.
First one was the new Ultra Studio 3G for Thunderbolt 3.
Thunderbolt 3
converters. So
I guess they're more affordable.
They're more affordable. They actually do 3G SDI instead of just HD SDI. And
which is, what's the difference?
Okay, so 3G SDI allows you to do 1080p at up to 60 frames per second. HD SDI, you can either do 1080i or 1080p at up to 30 frames per second. So,
okay.
So the old ones couldn't do 60 frames per second at 1080. They also use Thunderbolt 2 or 1.
So this is Thunderbolt 3.
This is Thunderbolt 3, yeah, which is like what every computer has had for like 5 years.
Faster.
So
it's not necessarily that new. Are we still live? Because some things stopped.
Having some doubts here.
So I don't know if I'd trust YouTube at this point.
So yeah, it was definitely YouTube that screwed up on the last one. So
that's really bizarre.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna keep going.
We'll maybe upload this later.
Yeah, we might have to upload later if there's a problem with the stream itself. But so anyway, yeah. So the first announcement was the Ultra Studio 3G.
It only does HD. It doesn't do 4K.
Right. Yeah. If you need a 4K capture device, then you're looking at
still live. Okay.
Looking at like $1,000 instead of the $115.
Right.
That these are. So $115.
It's only like a $900 difference.
Yeah. Small. Tiny.
It's not that big of a deal.
Weensy little difference.
Yeah. I remember looking at that. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean the old ones were actually pretty affordable too, at $145, which is not bad, but they're $30 cheaper. So yeah.
It makes a difference when you get multiple ones, so.
Yeah.
And you probably would, right?
Maybe.
For something like that.
Yeah. So I could see myself picking up a handful of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, although since they're Thunderbolt, a lot of computers don't have multiple Thunderbolt inputs on them, so.
Mine doesn't have any, so.
Well, you have Thunderbolt 1 on yours, but.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I don't use it, though, typically. Anything,
so Jesse Hernandez saying the Ultra Studio is the best new product that they announced. Everybody's got different things they're interested in, so yeah. I mean, I will probably pick up at least one. So there's a lot of times that I want to be able to play video off my laptop, and I want it to come out SDI instead of using the HDMI port, which we've discussed forever is not ideal.
Yeah.
But anyway, so cool product, yeah. So that was.
And they're itty bitty.
Yep.
Right.
They're very tiny, yeah.
So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, I don't have another one to show, so I don't show the size, but they're tiny. Yeah, about like that. Maybe even a little smaller. So, yeah. Just fit it inside of a bread box for sure.
Yeah.
So the next one they announced was the Video Assist 3G. So new 5-inch and 7-inch models. So I have the original 5-inch here as a prop. You can see the size of it. I have a 7-inch somewhere downstairs in my office. I forgot to bring it out. So anyway, so the new ones, 3 gig only, 3 gig SDI, which means 1080p at up to 60 frames per second, so no 4K.
Right.
Yeah. Which, they have 4K models, so if you want 4K, you just buy the 4K model, right? So.
Yeah.
They have scopes built in, so you can do waveform and vector scope and histogram, and
these ones don't have that, right?
the original 5-inch did not. The original 7-inch did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's something they added to the second product they came out with, and it's been on all of them since then, but this original one doesn't have that.
Okay.
So. But, that said, this one's been replaced. They don't sell the original anymore. And the new one
they don't?
actually has fewer features in some ways. So this one, you can actually monitor a 4K signal. It won't record it in 4K.
But you can watch it.
But you can monitor it,
4K.
Yeah. So I really like these things for troubleshooting stuff for events. Like I can just wander around the venue, whatever, plug in the signals, and I mean they're battery operated. Oh, the new ones use Sony batteries instead of the Canon ones that this use, which it allows you to get.
Is that better?
Well, it allows you to get the huge monster ones.
Oh, okay.
Because
these last longer.
Yeah, these have to be the size so they have to fit inside of a DSLR camera, right?
Oh,
so, but the newer ones use Sony batteries, so you get a huge battery and run it for hours.
Okay, that's cool.
But I love these things for just troubleshooting.
Yeah, I love walking around with monitors.
Yeah.
Especially if they're small.
One in each hand.
That one that I used for my short film was like really nice.
Yeah,
it was
the wireless?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
Yeah. So
10 times more expensive though than this.
More than 10 times.
It's like $6,000.
$6,000 for that thing, yeah.
That's a good chunk of money for a monitor, but...
Yeah, even if it does have wireless. So
would you get these, or would you prefer the older model?
Well, if you need 4K, if you need the monitor 4K, then the older ones.
Oh.
Probably. I mean, because they're an old model that's been discontinued at this point, so you could probably pick them up cheap.
Right. eBay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, yeah. Cool. It's cool that they have those, though. Because the 12 gig SDI versions, the 4K ones, they're considerably more expensive. So they're just giving people another alternative. So,
oh, okay.
Which is good. Choice is good.
Yeah.
So, yep. So that was the second product they announced, and then drumroll. The big one they announced.
You already saw it on the monitor when we first started. We were trying to figure out.
And it is the title of the video too. No surprise there, right? But that's the Ursa Mini Pro 12K. It's a new camera.
What? So he told me to watch it, and he's like, I think you'd be interested in what they're announcing with Blackmagic. I was like, okay. And so I watched it earlier today. And they were showing the demonstration, like, this is 4K, this is 6K.
Yeah, they didn't announce the resolution first. They just started showing this.
Yeah,
footage.
and then I was like, oh wow, okay, it's an 8K camera, and then they showed 12K.
Yeah.
But I still didn't think it was 12K. I still thought it was 8K. I thought they were just showing an example of 12K as if that was something they were gonna do in the future.
Surprise.
So I came here thinking it was a new 8K camera. It's 12.
I think everybody thought they were just gonna do 8K.
Well, no one has 12K right now, right?
Yeah.
Not one company has 12K, so.
Yeah, none that I don't know of. I mean, there may be some boutique company that's producing something specialty somewhere, but in terms of mainstream manufacturers, I don't think anybody else has got that. So, yeah. So 12K, that's a lot of Ks, lots of pixels.
That's a lot of Ks. That's a lot of space.
Yeah.
So, do we want to go through the specs?
Sure.
But, I mean, for the most part, I don't see myself using 12K anytime soon.
Why is that?
Because it takes up too much space, like an incredible amount of space that I just do not want to deal with. Because then I'd have to buy so many terabytes to hold a very small amount of footage.
If you want to edit it, those have to be SSDs because magnetic hard drives aren't fast enough.
Right.
So you're talking about an investment in SSDs.
It's not just the camera, like you have to have the whole setup.
Lost our camera.
Oh no. Can they still hear us?
Yeah, they can still hear.
So, yeah, and then uploading it and getting it stored and just editing it makes me nervous. I do not want to have to deal with that because that just sounds like a nightmare. And yeah, it's definitely something that I do not want to deal with.
It's just...
I don't even want to deal with 4K stuff, let alone something that's like 10 times more than that. So...
Yeah. Files are going to be huge. You're going to have to have a fairly powerful computer. It was interesting, during the demo, he did the video playback on a laptop, but as soon as he wanted to go to edit, he moved over to the Mac Pro. He didn't even attempt to demonstrate editing on the laptop. So I mean, he had a high-end MacBook Pro. I assume it's 16-inch, recent model.
Probably.
So that kind of to me means that laptops aren't fast enough to actually edit the 12K stuff.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
They're probably fast enough to watch it, I guess.
Right. But probably not edit it.
But not to edit. So. I would definitely not edit 12K. I wouldn't edit 6K on a laptop.
No.
Because that just sounds like horrible. But yeah. And in Premiere, I don't know how it would handle Premiere.
Yeah, so that's tough to say. I mean, Blackmagic does have a plugin for Premiere to let you edit Blackmagic Raw, and it's worked fine in the past, but 12K is a new animal, you know? 12K isn't 3 times the data of 4K, it's 9 times. Yeah. Because you got 9 times as many pixels that you're working with, so got a lot more data around, so we don't know. We just don't know yet. So I noticed on their site that they do have a place where you can download some sample clips.
Oh, right. So you can kind of play with...
Yeah, you can kind of get a feel. Yeah, so they got 3 clips that you can download there.
The color science.
Kind of play with it. So yeah, they were really proud of their new color science. They were talking about version 5 of the color science. So apparently they figured out another way to take the data from the sensor and make a picture out of it, you know. And so, but they were really proud of the skin tones on it. So maybe they've fixed some of that. I mean, I know that it was bad before, but maybe it's just better, you know.
Yeah.
So some of the specs are kind of crazy though. So 12K, that's 12,288 pixels by 6,480. So that's like,
that's all.
Yeah, it's 4 times bigger than 6K, right? So yeah, 80 megapixel.
80 megapixels.
80 megapixel sensor in a
Super 35 size. You know what's funny?
Size.
I remember my first camera. I think the T2i, Rebel T2i. I think it had 18 megapixels.
Something like that, yeah.
And I was so excited. I thought that was so cool. I was like, oh my gosh, 18 megapixels?
That's plenty for most stuff. But yeah. But 12K.
80 doesn't even seem real to me. This doesn't seem real. I think that's why we're just so in shock. Not shock. For lack of a better word, let's say shock.
Yeah, surprised.
Just surprised. Like, I don't understand. Yeah. Just, but it's, I mean, I'd like to use it.
Yeah, so Jesse in the chat room got this right. The only reason 12K is nice for super sampling and cropping in post.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's just your data is going to be huge.
It's going to be enormous, yeah.
It's going to be ridiculous.
You're filling up terabyte hard drives in a matter of, what I figure, like it's under an hour, a half hour or something like that.
The only reason I would ever use that if I had to do a really wide shot, like how they did it in the example. And
then crop in.
But I would just do that one shot, and then I'd go to whatever.
Yeah. Fortunately,
later.
It sounds like this camera can downsample natively in the sensor. So if you want to shoot 4K, 8K, 6K, you're not making the camera work extra hard. In order to get the lower resolution, and it's not cropping in either. So I mean, you're getting the full size of the sensor. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So. I would just probably not use the 12K most of the time. I mean,
but like Jesse said though, super sampling. So basically, if you start out with a 12K image and then shrink it down to 4K, it looks better than if you had a 4K image to start with.
Oh, okay.
So there is that. So, but price on this is actually kind of amazing. 10,000.
Yeah, it's only 10,000. I was surprised when you said that because, I mean, everything in film is expensive. So to a non-film person, that would sound like a lot, but that's really not a lot for this type of camera.
They're trying to compete with like an Airy Alexa or a Red, some variant. You know, 10,000 isn't so bad. You know.
Yeah, I know. And that's just for the body, so you still have to get lenses
and
all the accessories. So
it's like when I bought
this is the bare minimum.
When I bought my Ursa Mini, the camera was $3,000, but I ended up spending $12,000 in order to get a workable kit. And that was only 5 lenses. You know, it wasn't even a huge selection or anything like that.
So if you did want a decent setup with this, you'd probably need at least another.
And you're probably looking for 50,000, you know.
50?
Yeah, realistically, you get a good tripod and an arsenal of batteries. I mean,
assuming you don't have any of that stuff.
Yeah, if you don't have anything, yeah. But if you're coming from another Ursa Mini, you just buy the new body and you're done, essentially. And then some SSDs. But, yeah.
Yeah.
So another thing I noticed, like during the demo, he mentioned that you can record on cards, but he very, very quickly...
he's like...
record on SSDs.
Yeah.
So the SSDs these days have more bandwidth. They're faster than the CFast card, and they're considerably cheaper.
Which is nice.
Yeah. The downside is you can't record in parallel and get a backup that way. So.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah.
But I mean, for film, you don't necessarily need to worry about that.
Yeah.
Live, you do.
Right. Live, you can't. You can't no
do
redos. So.
The lenses is what's going to kill the budget. Yeah, the lenses are always
been the case.
So much more. And then similarly capable red is $55K. Yeah, someone said that earlier too. So
yeah.
$10K, $55K.
Yeah, and the reds are difficult to price out because it's like you get just the brain, and then you got to buy all this other stuff to even do anything. You know.
Yeah.
So.
A lot of people don't realize that until you get into it.
Oh, I can get a red for 20,000? No.
No.
Not really.
So they're 12K capable lenses.
There are, yeah. Not a lot, but.
I mean, they just don't really exist, so.
But even with a lens that's not capable of resolving a full 12K resolution, you're still going to get a better looking image than you will with 6K or whatever.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So,
I don't know how much they cost.
They're gonna be spendy.
Those are gonna be spendy too, because they just kind of don't exist at this point.
Sharpest EF lenses I have can only resolve about 25 megapixels, and this is like 4 times that.
Yeah, so. 80.
Yeah. So, anyway, so Super 35 sensor, just like they've had in the past.
Extreme resolution.
Yeah, they're pretty proud of that.
I mean, that is really high.
Another thing they kind of touched on briefly, but they didn't elaborate on, like the color pattern on the sensor. So most of the cameras we use out there are using bare sensors. So it's like red pixel, green pixel, blue pixel, in kind of a square like that, and they just repeat it all over the sensor.
Yeah.
He said that they're using equal number of pixels for red, green, and blue, but he didn't elaborate on what the pattern is or how that works or anything. So. Don't know. So, yeah.
But it's supposed to be better.
Yeah.
What's the bit rate and color depth? Do they say that on here?
No, bit rate. I believe it was 12-bit. But it's 14 stops to dynamic range.
Oh yeah, 14 stops.
And then, and high frame rate. We'll talk about that in a second. So bit rates. So. 5:1 compression, you're looking at 578 megabytes a second. Same with quality 0, which is the highest quality. The numbers are backwards, right? Quality 5 is smaller than quality 0, lower quality than quality 0. So yeah, about roughly 600 megabytes a second when you're shooting in 12K. So uncompressed is almost 3 gigabytes a second.
3 gigabytes a second. So that gives you kind of an idea of how much space it's going to take up.
For a terabyte,
a ridiculous amount.
A terabyte would give you 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
So
crazy. So
how many? So a typical feature is 90 minutes.
Right.
So. How many?
18 of those, so 18 terabytes. And that's
18
that's
terabytes.
Assuming you don't have any retakes or any shoot anything.
Yeah, and every take's perfect.
And you start recording right at the beginning of the take and stop recording after, right?
Yeah.
So, totally unrealistic.
Yeah. So you easily spend 18 grand on terabytes alone.
Yeah.
Just to do that. So.
You get the stuff that's fast enough, yeah.
Hi from Austria.
Hey, Austria.
Yeah, it's an insane amount of. What about the Sigma Cine lenses?
They're pretty good, but I don't know if capable of resolving 80 megapixels. That's just crazy.
I don't know if they're, yeah. Everything with 12K is just sort of so new that I feel like a lot of things
Yeah, even 8K
aren't
really
capable
hasn't.
with it, really.
I mean, you hear people shooting 6K a lot for features and things like that.
Yeah.
And like even Hollywood features typically are even delivered in 2K. It's like all the special effects are done in 2K because the computers aren't fast enough to handle 4K.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So there's so many effects on
12K
there already.
that's a lot of Ks.
That's a lot of Ks. So, what were we going to talk about next? The frame rate?
So frame rates, yeah. So in 12K, it does up to 60 frames per second, 8K up to 110 frames per second, and 4K up to 220 frames per second.
That's cool.
So
in 4K, you could do super slow-mo very easily.
Yeah, almost 10 to 1. It's like 9 to 1 if you're 24 frame project.
Just if you want to do like a Hershey's commercial, like the chocolate splashing.
That's the first thing that came to my mind.
All I think about like with slow-mo is food, you know, because they always do slow motion with like chocolate or whatever. When I was in school, we did slow motion tests on a Red camera, and my friend Josh obliterated a watermelon with a hammer.
Gallagher style.
Yeah. That's what we could think of to do slow motion with, so we just destroyed all this fruit. It was pretty fun, actually.
It's funny, a lot of slow motion involves destroying things.
Yeah, because you want to see it.
Yeah, like the Slow Mo Guys channel. You ever watch the Slow Mo Guys channel on YouTube?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they destroy stuff all the time.
I always say, as my quote, everything is cooler in slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like slow motion a lot, actually.
So.
And then people walking down a hallway after they got dressed up. Always funny. Like the Hangover, Bridesmaids. I can think of a lot of movies where like they all of a sudden are going to go somewhere and they get all dressed up and they're walking down in slow motion looking really cool.
I love when people... TV
it
show,
always makes me laugh.
TV
I love
show
it.
I used to watch a few years ago called Community on NBC. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen it.
But they had an episode where they're supposed to... That had a space simulator. They're supposed to simulate going into space. And like one of the opening shots is one of those like where they're very slowly walking out. And someone says, "How long do we have to keep walking slow like this?"
They're fake slow motion. Yeah. That's funny.
No. Anyway.
Slow-mo guys have a shirt that says that. Aw, man. I'll have to get it. But yeah, slow-mo... I
like that channel, I think.
I probably would. If I were to get this camera, I would probably use that a lot.
The slow-mo stuff.
All the features.
Yeah, because...
In 4K.
I mean, that is... Going that fast at that resolution is unique to this camera. So some of their lower-end ones can do, I think, up to 240, but only in HD, so...
Oh, in HD, okay.
Yeah. So...
That is cool.
Yeah. What else is worth noting? So, ships with PL mount, which you'd expect for anybody shooting at that level.
Right. Interchangeable lens
Yeah,
mounts.
you can put an EF or F mount on it if you want.
But it doesn't come with it. That's an extra.
Right, it's an extra. It's cheap. It's like $175.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's not bad. But yeah, they really, really want you to record on USB-C SSDs. So.
It's because the cards would be ridiculous.
Josh Freeman, he knows the clips. And then Chevy Chase says, "You guys are walking slow." Yeah.
I'll have to see that. High resolution monitoring.
So it can be used for live, but it probably isn't recommended. So, like for example, one of the limitations is the only output on it is 12 gig SDI, so it can only do 4K. So even though you might be recording 12K internally, you can't get the 12K out of the camera. So,
yeah, it's impossible because of the cable, right?
Yeah, like there is
the cable doesn't exist.
There's no connection to get even 8K out of the thing, which is funny because like Blackmagic has an 8K switcher. They have 8K external recorders.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Oh.
But there's no connection on this camera to get that out of there. So.
Would the 4K be better though? Or would it be the same?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be better than a native 4K camera for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess that's.
Yeah. So I mean, you can do that.
The plus side.
But they also removed a feature. So most of the Blackmagic cameras have real-time color correction you can control from your switcher. This one they omitted that feature, so you can't like shift the colors.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah.
During live.
Yeah. Which is that really a big deal? Because I mean, all these other cameras I have don't do that.
Right. That's true.
So yeah. But if somebody's buying this expecting to be able to do real-time color correction, yeah, it doesn't do it. So.
I wouldn't want that either. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we just answered it.
Yep. How long till you're streaming 12K from the trailer? I'm not even streaming 4K from the trailer.
Yeah, we don't even do that. Like,
So,
that's why 12K just seems so
we
astronomical
shoot 4K,
at this point.
So even these live streams, we're shooting in 4K, but we don't.
Not stream.
Not streaming. Yeah, I don't.
You guys don't want to see our face that clearly.
Maybe hers.
Oh man, 12K would be nuts. I don't think anyone can do 12K at this point.
I have enough internet bandwidth to do it here.
We should try.
but well, how do you get it in?
Oh yeah, I guess you can't. You still can't. There's no way. It's impossible. So until they make an SDI cable that's capable of doing that, it's
I don't think,
not possible.
I think they would have to go fiber. I don't think copper can do it.
Oh, okay.
So, and that camera doesn't have it, so.
It doesn't have a fiber?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
Mm-mm. No.
Well.
So. Yeah.
We're gonna have to, what's the word? Jimmy rig it.
Yeah. Jerry rig.
Jerry rig. That's what it is. But yeah, so high resolution monitoring is pretty cool.
So let's see what else. The user interface on these cameras is fantastic. It's easily better than anybody else. These things are really easy to use. Yeah.
I mean, that's why I love the Blackmagic Pocket Cam, because it's so easy to use.
Right.
So easy and simple and
has
just like.
It has the same interface.
Okay.
So yeah, if you can use one, you already know how to use the other.
That's nice.
So, yeah.
Ooh, wireless Bluetooth.
Yeah, they've had that for a while. That's not new.
Okay.
But that's not new.
Is DaVinci. If I were to try and edit this, I probably would just use DaVinci. I wouldn't even want to mess with Premiere. Well, I guess I'd compare.
Yeah, try it out and see how it works.
See which one is better.
Yeah.
Probably Dissolve.
We'll have
for
to download
this.
the footage and actually try it out.
Yeah.
So
maybe we
I'll
should
let
try
you
that.
do that.
Oh man.
Since
I'll have to edit it.
She likes editing and I don't. So.
Almost with the colors.
It's one of the reasons she's here.
Yeah, it's basically the only reason I'm here.
That's not true.
How many 12G SDI cables would you need for 12K? 6, 8?
Let's see. Well, do the math. So for 8K, you need 4. So it would it'd have to be 9. You need 9 of them.
9 cables?
9 cables, yeah.
So, and then I guess...
For 12 gig SDI.
Less for 6 and 8, too. That's a lot of cables.
Yep.
Makeup artists around the world would be screaming out in terror. Yeah, for 12K, they would. Because...
You have actors. You can't
get
that camera closer than 50 feet from
Get a filter and... Oh, man. No one wants that. But I think the human eye, isn't it 24?
I hear all sorts of different numbers.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, well, it's hard to gauge because like the center of your vision has a lot more capable of resolving detail than when you get further out.
In the peripheral, yeah.
Yeah, so like how do you come up with a number equivalent to that?
I don't know. I feel like in school or somewhere I heard that the eye is 24. Yeah. Something crazy.
I've heard numbers as low as 8 and like nobody really knows.
Well, that doesn't make any sense because how are you supposed to see more than that?
Well, because you're seeing so much detail in the center that you don't have to have a lot of ability to pick up detail outside the center of your vision because you're not really looking at it. So as long as the center can pick up a lot of detail, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, just use a 100G fiber connection.
There you go.
That's it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, that's actually... I don't even 100 gig would do it because you're talking 12 times 9. So, yeah, it's right around 100. A little over.
I didn't really learn my 12 times tables very well.
So 120 is 12 times, right? So 9 times is 12 less.
Oh.
So 108. Yeah, you need 108 gig connection in order to stream that. So, yeah.
Well.
Yeah,
we'll get on that.
Yeah, and Grant Petty in his presentation he pretty clearly stated that this camera is not meant for live production. It's for filmmakers.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, yeah. So definitely not something you would be interested in. Unless you want to make a film. Should we make a film?
So
I'll make one.
I like having some film type stuff around because even for live stuff, it's nice to capture that look, that feel. But I can't really focus on that though. So
Yeah.
no, I'm in live production. So.
Oh, according to scientist and photographer Dr. Roger Clark, the resolution of the human eye is 576 megapixels.
You say though, everybody's got a different opinion on
Well,
that.
that's it. So this is 80, so nearly 500 more
Yeah.
megapixels.
Yeah. So pricing, $10,000.
Yeah, base price 10,000. So
Yeah, which for
no
what it is
accessories.
pretty good.
That's pretty good though. I mean, I'm surprised, especially when it's such a big announcement and nobody has it for 12K. So
How big would your monitor have to be to see the difference between 4K and 12K? Well, it actually depends on how far away you sit from it. You know, if you're right up against it, yeah, you'll be able to see the difference. But from a normal seating distance and viewing angle, viewing distance or whatever, it's you can't even really see the difference between 4K and HD for most normal seating distances. So.
yeah. I remember seeing the 8K at NAB last year, the 8K TV for Sony. It looked amazing, but I don't know if I could tell the difference if they showed me something else.
I mean, the only real reason I see to go with 4K or 8K TV over HD for most people is that you get a bigger color gamut and a wider range of brightness values that you can represent. HDR, basically. With HDR, you see that like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing.
Yeah.
Jaw-dropping on a good set. But resolution-wise, yeah. So, but as mentioned earlier, so 12K, the only real reason to do that is better super sampling, I mean, and being able to crop in post. So,
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing with this is you can crop in.
Or the super sampling, yeah.
Super sampling, yeah.
When you start with 12K resolution and then just shrink it down to 4K, that looks better than just shooting 4K in the first place.
Yeah.
So, I remember when I got my first HD camcorder, everybody was still shooting still shooting SD for everything.
Yeah.
And my computer couldn't even edit. I'm having a hard time talking today. My computer couldn't even
It's been
edit
a long
HD.
day.
Not to mention the second time we're doing this too.
Right.
My computer couldn't even edit this at HD. It just wasn't fast enough. So I'd shoot in HD and then have the camera downsample it to SD for editing, and that footage looked way better than what everybody else was shooting on. And even on a high quality SD camera. So.
I guess I didn't really think about that. I was just so shocked that it was 12K that does not compute.
I don't understand that many Ks. Yeah, so we'll have to have you download the footage and play with it and see.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what they mean about colored skin tones, like why it's so much better than
there's new
others.
color science for version 5. They were pretty proud of what they could do with skin tones.
I guess if you're doing like a skin commercial, this would be the camera for you.
Now it's all about coloring, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at the same time you're gonna go do color correction most likely, and
you have to. I mean,
raw, and
you don't see anything on television that doesn't go
it's
through
all
color
gonna
correction
be
anymore.
be changed. But I guess maybe the process isn't as intricate with the colors.
So, yeah. But I think the biggest surprise for the announcement was that they didn't come up with an 8K broadcast camera. They got the 8K switcher, they've got
they
the
just
8K recorder.
It's weird. They just skipped it.
There's no 8K cameras that you can actually plug into those things at this point. So.
But this shoots in 8K.
Yeah, you can shoot in 12, 8, 4, and 2K on this camera.
You could still use those, right? Or no?
Yeah.
The switchers and all that.
But like I said, the output is only 4K.
The output's only 4K. I keep forgetting that. So it doesn't matter.
You can't get 8K out of the camera live. So.
Live, right?
Yeah. So and this is I forgot to mention that. I'm already mentioned this. This is Blackmagic's first sensor that they've built themselves.
Oh, it is.
So that's kind of a
okay.
big deal. Yeah.
Maybe that's why they wanted to do 12. Go big or go home.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
no one else has it.
Yeah. So
I mean, it got our attention, so I guess it works.
Yeah.
My attention.
It got a lot of people's attention. I saw a lot of references to it online. Like even sites that don't specialize in video or film equipment were talking about it. So.
Yeah.
So.
I saw a few.
Yeah. 8K broadcast cameras are coming. Yeah, they will. Yeah, but there were a lot of people that were expecting it to be announced.
It's just
yesterday.
funny that they skipped over it.
Yeah, considering
because the other one
their
is
background isn't video,
4.6.
not in film. Right. Yeah.
So there's a
4.6
huge
to 12.
difference in between.
Yep.
And I didn't know they didn't have a 6K. I assumed they had one.
Not in the Ursas, yeah.
So I guess they don't. It's just the pocket cam. So.
Yeah. Almanacs, they explained the choice of the 12K to get true RGB at 8K at the request of broadcasters. Except broadcasters won't really be able to use it.
Because of the cords, right?
Yeah, there's no output.
There's no output
you can
for live.
You can shoot and edit, yeah, but for
you
live.
can shoot and edit, so yeah, I guess that's what they would do is edit it. So
no one else has it because it's a bad idea. I don't know if it's a bad idea, but it's certainly not right for everybody.
Yeah,
so,
I can't imagine doing it.
I personally don't have a use for one either. So
no, I wouldn't. I don't want to do that either. So
that said, if somebody wanted to loan me one for review, I wouldn't turn it away.
Talk to Terry. He's got the hookup.
So yeah, you guys have any questions about it? So
I mean, we've just been looking at specs and everything and going through
obviously
it.
you don't have hands-on one yet.
They were kind of vague in in a lot of it too, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I wonder if they're trying
I don't know if that was on
I think
purpose.
they're trying to keep their live stream shorter. It's like the last two that they've done. Like one yesterday was only a half hour, and the one last week was one yesterday was a little longer than that, but the one last week was only a half hour. And in the past they've been like 2 hours for this. Like they just keep going on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
So we've actually been talking about it longer here than they did on the video itself. So yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So and probably give a better image than native 8K sensors. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
So anyway, so it's only gonna buy 3 or 4 of them. So
that's it.
Yeah.
We'll do a bunch of slow-mo. We'll have it set up in a line where there's 3 cameras and we'll just do slow-mo across.
Can you do a footage comparison with other big name cameras? Well, if I had them. But
I don't do no other cameras do 12K.
Not that I know of.
Not that we know of. That's why it's so surprising that they did that, because I can't think of any other cameras that actually do 12K.
Yeah, I don't know any. Yeah. So.
I mean, what were they saying? It might be comparable to an RE. Is that what you're saying?
In terms of image quality? Or?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ari Alexa.
Oh, and then someone was saying the red for 55K.
Yeah.
So there is that price difference. But, I mean, this is so new, we'd really have to go through. I'm sure people are probably doing that right now as we speak. Because they just announced it yesterday, so I'm sure there'll be a bunch of different types of footage. And then you can also go in here and look through it and compare it with other stuff.
Yeah, the trouble is, like, there aren't very many cameras available.
Right.
So, like, they
basically
said, don't expect on getting your hands on one of these things at any time soon. So they're
they did?
in the hands of beta testers and reviewers, but pretty much anybody else is not going to be able to get one for at least a month or so. So
Oh.
yeah. So
Well, never mind.
yep.
I guess that's probably why they have that on there, so you can download the footage
Play with it.
and get excited about it before. So
Yep. Would you rather spend 10K on this camera or an A10 panel? Well, for me, it's A10
for
panel.
you, it'd be the panel because you just do live.
Right.
So.
And you, the camera.
And me with the camera. So if you're in film, I'd do the camera because I don't need a panel ever. It would make no sense for me to have that.
Doesn't even have an A10 Mini. So.
I don't have anything, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, the panel is definitely. You were talking about the panel earlier. You want to get the 6,000 one? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's perfect size for my switcher. I have the 2 ME switcher as 20 inputs. That's exactly what that panel is sized for. 20 inputs, 2 MEs. So yeah, it's like it's made for my switcher essentially. So,
right.
Yeah.
So we should get that. We should get it.
Sure, I'll just sell a kidney.
There's a million things in here you could sell probably. You just got to decide what you don't want.
None of it worth much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was commenting at the concert I shot a while ago. The most expensive piece of equipment I had there was my Sony OLED monitor.
Oh, really?
More expensive than all my cameras, more expensive than my switcher.
That's funny, actually.
A 17-inch monitor is the most expensive piece of equipment I had that event. So, yeah. Someone asking about the virtual production. So, how'd it go, Whit? We'd actually technical directed it, so I was mostly just on technical standby for most of it. So, she ran almost all of it, to be honest.
Yeah, it went pretty well. I think the biggest issues were kind of out of our control.
Right.
Just with people not being able to figure out how to get onto Zoom, or people who were late.
Or not using separate microphones, just using their laptop and then getting feedback. And
people who didn't know how to mute their video, or, you know, just little things. And it's hard because it's virtual. Obviously, we're not there, so we can't do anything except tell them what to do before.
And we did have a mic setup where we could talk to them, but
yeah,
you don't want to interrupt their flow.
But it's weird to interrupt when they're talking all together, and you don't necessarily want to mess that up. And so you kind of just tell them what to do and hope for the best. Right. If there's a really big mistake, I guess we could have talked to them if we really needed to.
Yeah, so it wasn't technically live. We pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Just because it was going to be next to impossible.
We would have needed more people to make it work.
The structure of it was an introduction, and then 4 discussion panels, and then kind of an outro. And
right.
Trying to do that live, different panels, that would have been a nightmare. So we pre-recorded and then just streamed it live. So everybody thought it was live, but it was actually just playback.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, technically, we didn't really do anything during it, so it was somewhat live. But just in between, that's what scared us.
Yeah.
To get everyone in the chat and everyone ready to go on.
Right. But every glitch we had was outside of our control. It was the people who were participating doing weird stuff.
So. And some people weren't necessarily paying attention, so they'd be on the camera and doing other things.
Yeah.
Somewhat distracting. I think the biggest thing is we just needed more people to make it.
Yeah, we did it just the two of us.
Completely live, yeah. So it was, with just us two, it was kind of a lot. And there were a lot of people.
Each panel had at least 4 people.
Yeah, and so we'd have to go between each panel and the host. And I got to talk to Steve Forbes for a second. That was cool.
Yeah. He was on the call. He actually called my cell phone.
And he called his cell phone right before, too, because he was waiting in the chat, and, like, people were told to get on early, but you can't get on early because there's another meeting happening, and so we had to have people wait, and so that was sort of confusing for them, too.
So I just saw this number on my phone. I pick it up and, hello? Hi, this is Steve Forbes. I'm like, what?
He gets on the phone. He's like, that was Steve Forbes. I was like, what? Like, directly?
He himself called me directly, yeah.
That's so cool.
I got his cell phone number if you want it. Just kidding.
Highest bid wins. And then they were 30 minutes instead of 20, so it set us behind, which we weren't told.
Right. So yeah, I'd schedule each panel 30 minutes apart. So we'd have 20 minutes to shoot and then 10 minutes of break between.
Yeah.
And
instead we had to go back to back without any break and get people on as quickly as possible because everyone else was waiting to get in because we were behind.
Unfortunately, we were able to cycle between panels pretty quick. Towards the end, it was like maybe 3 or 4 minutes between them. So anyway.
So it was fun.
Yep.
Glad it wasn't completely live. Would have been a lot more stressful.
Yeah.
So
but the client was very happy.
Yeah. And we'll probably do more.
Yep. They
soon.
Had a meeting this morning with them about doing things regularly. So.
And it might be an even bigger production. So maybe we could possibly do some sort of BTS or fake BTS. Or we'll show you what we do to make that work. Because I feel like I can understand things when I actually see them. So.
Yep. Yeah, the BTS that I did for the Follow the Flag thing, that's been a very popular video on my channel. So.
I love watching BTS.
So over 3,000 views on that. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, random question: have you looked at the Behringer wing mixer? I follow it a little bit, but I like my Yamaha stuff. So Behringer is not very supportive of Dante, and I think Dante is awesome. It's the future. So my Yamaha does not have a per channel delay, audio delay. So what I do is when I need a delay, I send all those channels into a single aux bus and then delay that. So there's a workaround.
Mm.
Andrew, any unpaid productions coming up so I can work something with you guys? Nothing at the moment. So.
No.
Actually, the schedule right now is basically empty.
Yeah, that's probably why we're here.
But at the same
Not
time,
quite as busy right now.
This production we had last Monday, we didn't get hired for that until like last Tuesday, so we had less than a week.
Yeah, it was
from the time
kind of
we got
last
hired
minute
to the
too.
time we did it, so I was frankly a little surprised we were able to pull it off so fast. But
yeah, we prepped Thursday
and Sunday
for a couple hours,
yeah.
and we prepped Sunday for several hours to get the graphics done and everything prepared. So we were ready for Monday. And Monday there were still changes that we had to do
Always.
right before.
Always.
And so there was a little bit of prep time that was involved with it.
Yep. And the Thursday stuff was mostly just testing. Cause since I hadn't done a whole lot of virtual event type stuff, we didn't know which platform was going to work best. So we
had to test Skype, Zoom, and Google.
And Google Meet, yeah.
Google Meet.
Yeah. So we ended up using
Zoom was the best.
Zoom had the best video quality of them. So we used Zoom for the panel, and then we used Skype for its low latency with the host. So 2 different platforms. So.
And that was sort of tricky too, right?
It was a little tricky to get it going, but we got it. So
yeah.
So innovative. Asking why I'm not using H2R graphics? Just because this is totally impromptu. We didn't.
We did this last second.
Yeah, literally. I mean,
sorry.
She got here to come and work today, and
I said, let's do live because you didn't do one yesterday, and I'm sure people might want to hear about it. And so, yeah,
less
that's
than 20 minutes later, we were supposedly streaming, only YouTube
screwed
it up.
And so that's why we're doing it again, because something weird happened with YouTube.
Yeah. If you're just catching it, this is take 2. I already did the stream once. And I had recorded it, but the recorder was set to use a different audio input, so there's no audio on that recording.
This is why you prep.
This is why you spend
You don't just do it last minute,
because
even people that know what they're doing, like something will happen because you're not ready for it. So
yeah. So Efren, any thoughts on Ursa broadcast? I haven't used one yet, actually. So I people who have used them seem to like them, but I haven't used one. I don't have a set of B4 lenses that I can throw on there. So if I was to get one, I'd have to get lenses too. So Andrew, what are the chances of hiring somebody you've never worked with before on a paid event? We've done it.
Yeah.
That's how we got her involved.
Yeah, so I found you on Facebook. Right?
Yep. Yeah,
and
I
he
put
just
a link
posted
to
a job.
my Crew Access website.
And then I signed up for the Crew Access. The best way is to go to his Crew Access, put down like your skill levels, what you do, and your profile.
Yep. And just be honest in your skill level.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with hiring people who haven't done a lot of work. I just don't want them to charge an arm and a leg for it if they're good. So.
Because you've worked with people who said they were better than they were, and then it didn't necessarily work out. And I guess I undersold myself.
She did, yeah. She's better than what she claimed she was, so which is a nice revelation when we actually hired her.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Like, oh wait,
she knows what she's doing.
I think women do that, just in general. Got to sell myself better, I guess.
No, I try to be as honest as I can. So the background noise is from the AC. It's too hot outside to
It's literally 82 degrees in here right now, and we have the AC on.
Yeah.
It's just our monitors and everything starts flickering too when it gets too hot, so the stream's gonna get weird if we turn it off.
It's like the switcher actually.
And the switcher,
the switcher is flickering now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, even now it's starting to kind of.
It still works fine, but
have issues. So.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's the AC.
Yeah, it's the AC. So, and if I had directional mics like this, it would probably be better, but
we'll look into that.
Since I don't really do audio full time, I don't invest a ton in microphones anymore. So. Yes, $80 Behringer Shark will do a delay. Yes, although we did a stream team video about delays just a couple weeks ago, and so go back and watch that.
Yeah, that's up now.
Yeah. Yep. So, speaking of stream team. We're going to be shooting another one here for a long, so we'll have one on Tuesday.
Yes,
so.
That's why I'm here.
Yep.
Originally.
That was the original plan.
And did we announce it?
No, we have not.
We did it because we did it in the other one.
Go ahead.
So this channel is supposed to get 10,000 subscribers within the next couple weeks. So we're going to do a fun live Q&A
party.
celebration party virtual thing.
Party.
We're going to dress up, maybe get a cake.
What do you mean maybe?
We're going to get a cake.
Happening?
We're getting a cake and balloons and
You're in charge of that, by the way.
Doug got a what? What'd you get?
I got a tuxedo.
He got a tuxedo because I have my really sparkly bridesmaid's dress that I wanted to wear again because it's just an excuse to wear it. So it's like, let's dress up.
Yep. So
he got a tux to match my dress and everything. It's official.
Yep. So tentatively August 7th.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to try and hit the actual day when it happens.
Yeah.
So there may be some fluctuation there.
So, and then there's supposed to be 1.5 million views on the same day of all the videos. So that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. And somewhere around there, she's going to hit 12,000.
And I'm almost to 12,000 followers on
Instagram.
Instagram. So maybe that will happen on the same day. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
We can celebrate. Tell how excited we are. I don't know. It's just an excuse to do something different. So you guys can join us.
Yeah.
And celebrate with us. So
yeah, it's kind of exciting. I'm pretty excited.
It is cool.
About it, so,
I mean, yeah.
So yeah, pretty good acceleration on growth of the channel here in the last few months. Otherwise, that milestone wasn't going to even happen in 2020. That was still going to be a ways off. Yeah.
Yeah. So it has grown a lot too.
Yep.
And then we should be having more Stream Team videos. Until then, at least one.
So, yeah.
We're gonna do
in
that
terms of other videos, I've got a video that I shot recently on using the HyperDeck Studio Mini for doing video playback, playout. And so as soon as that's edited, that'll go up. And what else? So, yeah, that's about all we got planned at the moment. But,
yeah. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I've had big events every week for a month now, and so I just haven't had the time to shoot. So the only reason we had as many Stream Team videos going out as we did is
there's nothing to do.
Things were slow.
Things were slower, and so we had time. We wanted to try it out to see how much we could get done. It is kind of a lot of work, though. It's time consuming.
Yeah, more for her than me, but yeah.
Definitely for me.
She does all the editing.
So
I just set up the cameras and turn on the lights and talk. So.
Right.
So, yeah.
What's the website for Crew Access?
Crewaccess.com.
So just go to crewaccess.com, and that's the best way to contact Doug
for the one for DJP
jobs.
Though, it's actually djprod.biz. So.
Or djprod.biz.
Yeah, same thing. It just.
Same thing.
Yeah. So, I happen to have my marketing website on the same URL as well.
But Crew Access is cool. I've used it. Did I talk about me using it?
I think that was the other video.
I don't know. We've talked about so many things now. But I used it for my short film, and so you don't need to just use it for just live because there's call sheets, there's schedules, you get text messages.
Lots of communication.
On the day of, so lots of communication, so everyone's kind of on the same page. And like a lot of the stuff, I have a smaller crew, so sometimes I don't even have a first AD, and so it's nice to have that to keep everyone in contact with each other.
Yeah. Yep.
So
yeah, so plans that are free as well as paid, so depending on what your needs are. And if you get the free one, use it as long as you want.
Yep.
So, yep. Best way to contact me, so djp.li/contact. Yep. So I actually have a contact me form on my website, and that's a short URL to get there. So I recently watched a video about the different Zoom controllers. Use the Zoom controller for the Sony X70. Yes. So I found an adapter from a company in Australia that converts it to Lancy. Go into eBay. Look on eBay. That's the best place to find this. So, yeah.
What adapters do you use?
Yeah, so it's just an adapter cable. So it plugs into a USB port on the camera and then gives you a Lancy port on the other end. So. Yeah, confuses people every time they set up that camera. It's like, where do I plug in the Zoom controller? There's a cable in the box.
Oh, okay. That sounds like something I would do.
So, you've seen the Living as One streaming services I just bought? No, I have not. I'm not familiar with them. How to set up what you advise for a live 5 to 6 person band production, also with pre-recorded interviews. That's a loaded question. 5 to 6 person band. I mean, you can do it with 2 to 3 cameras, but realistically, I would say 4. So my standard setup when I can 3 cameras with operators, 1 wide camera that's locked off, and then I try to set up 2 of my PTZs. That remotely control those. That's pretty good. 6 cameras gives you a pretty good variety of shots. So,
yeah, that's plenty.
So yeah, that looks like that's it for questions at the moment.
Cool.
So
it's been an hour, I think.
Yep, a little over. Well, a little under because we started a little late. But,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But at least we made it here.
Yeah. Second time.
We just wasted a whole hour before that, so it's fine.
Yeah.
This was probably better anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, wait for our new stream team Tuesday.
Tuesday, yep.
What are we going to talk about?
Probably the A10 Mini.
Probably the A10 Mini.
But it's kind of funny.
Detail.
We don't even know when we're about to shoot it.
I know, right?
That's how much we play these things by ear. So.
Well, we have lives too, so.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Sometimes we have lives. And then, yeah, we'll do our big announcement when we do 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah, around August 7th, somewhere.
Right. We also have an Instagram in case you're interested for DJP.
DJP's underscore video. Yeah,
DJP
underscore video.
Underscore video is the Instagram, and then mine is Witty Film Girl.
Mine's got gadgets.
And then his personal one's got gadgets.
Yeah. So.
But you still got gadgets on there. On your got gadgets. Right?
Yep. That's about all that's on there. Nobody ever takes pictures of me, so, you know. I
did.
Don't.
I took one.
So anyway. Yeah, so Blackmagic 12K Ursa Mini Pro. Cool for film, not so great for live.
Won't work for live.
But
you can do 4K. You can only do 4K for live, so
yeah.
Don't even think about trying 12.
Yeah.
And then if I were to use it, I'd probably use the 4K just for the slow motion.
Cool.
So that's what I thought was cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got merch coming too, by the way.
And we got merch coming. Got to get on
This is
it.
not necessarily what we're actually going to sell, but Stream Team logo on one side and then DJP on the other. So that's mostly for us. But we do have merch coming.
So yeah.
Cool. Hey guys, thanks for watching.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, subscribe, share, like, all the usual. So, yeah.
Until next time.
Okay, see you later.